everybody. I'm Stacey J.
And I'm Chuck Duran.
Welcome to another episode of VO Buzz Weekly.
That's right. We're back for part 2 with Stew Herrera.
Let's do it.
What are some of the things that you did that helped your promo career take off? I mean, did you have a demo when you started? Did you take a class? Did somebody say, do this, do that? Oh, wait a minute, Chuck. It's all coming back to me now.
I took a couple of classes, absolutely. You know, that comes to the training. I studied with Maurice. I studied with Dave. What's wrong with me? Dave Sebastian Williams.
Okay.
I studied with Lee Gilbert. I studied. I remember a voice-to-picture workshop. I think it was probably more trailer geared, but reading to picture is a skill that you're going to have to develop that. I think. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, maybe analogous to learning to edit with a blade and tape. Maybe they don't teach that anymore. In fact, I'm certain that they don't. But most promo guys are so busy, I think, that they're not going in. So when you're reading to picture, you're really just reading to, you know, the picture in your brain. You know, staying out of the ways of the SOTs and listening for audio cues. So you've got to at least, you know, dial into that,
right,
and be opening your mouth to talk before it's time to talk. You know,
right.
You've got to be tight, and so there's the training aspect of it. You know, my first network promos that I'm pretty sure were with CBS for Big Brother. Mm-hmm. I narrated the Big Brother promos for, I don't know, first 11 seasons or something like that. It was a great gig, and I learned a lot. You know, I took what I learned and I really honed it in during those times. I remember it was at a Promax convention, and Kat Cressida and I teamed up. And
for people that don't know, what's a Promax convention?
The Promax convention is the annual meeting of all the promo producers and, oh, good Lord, who else goes to the Promax convention?
Everything and anything promo happens there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would go every year.
So your
and
friend
we would
Kat
always make a contact with somebody.
Yeah.
So that year, Kat made friends with a couple of the guys from CBS, and we went and took them to a ball game, and, you know, got to know them and hung out, had some laughs and stuff, and that led to them, you know, giving me a shot, you know, an audition for this, and it worked out. You know, would that shot have come on its own? I don't know.
Right.
But we were in a particular, you know, we were in a position to find out who those guys were, and then, you know, Kat had such a magnetic, funny.
Yeah.
You know, she does. She's
she does,
such a funny, you know, person, and she's got a great personality, and so, you know, so we went out, and it all worked out. That said, I also get lots of shots at promos from people that I've never met before, you know, but I think they maybe they know my name, maybe they don't. You know, hopefully when they hear my audition, I'm sure that it sounds competitive, at least. So even when, you know, you don't get the gig, but you're in that.
You're in the playing field.
You're in the pool, you know, guys. And then it kind of just comes down to any number of things, you know, preference, or maybe this one guy really knocked it out of the park, you know. Sometimes people give their friends a shot. I mean, it shouldn't happen, but whatever. That's kind of how the world works sometimes. So
exactly. You know, I'd give my friend a shot.
I give my friend the first shot. I don't know if I give you the job, but
maybe not the job.
You mentioned that your read, you know, if your reads are competitive, how do you stay on top of the trends so that you are in that pool?
Yeah. How do you stay good, man? How do you keep zigging?
I don't know. You know what? That's a really great question. I don't know how I answer that.
Do you do anything to practice?
I mean, obviously you're working every day.
I work every day, and I hear what's out there, but I don't make notes or study anything with any real kind of methodology to it. I'd be hard pressed to tell you, to really articulate, you know, how has the sound of voiceover changed since I got in '98 or so to now. I mean, every job is a little different to itself. You take the specs and you read the script, and I think that, you know, I'm part of a wave, and I'm probably not even aware of how, you know, how things have changed, what's being ordered now than things were in when I first got in. you know,
you've probably been changing a little bit and just not recognizing it.
yeah. Well, my voice has certainly changed.
Yeah.
There's that. I've got, you know, you listen back to the stuff that I was doing.
It's called puberty, Stu.
When I,
Yeah, exactly.
When's it over?
Know? Back in '98, he was like freaking 16 years old.
He was 8.
Things are going to change, Stewie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, my voice is a little more versatile now. I mean, I've always thought of myself as a versatile instrument, and you know, and whatever. I have a different sound now, and you know, maybe it doesn't serve me as well as my old voice would have served me for some of the types of projects that I got then. Like, I don't work much in trailer anymore.
Right.
I was on fire for a long time, but now, you know, that was okay. I mean, my sound worked at the time. I know that things, you know, people are always calling for less announcery, more conversational and stuff, but that's kind of not really what they mean, because
when they say, you know, I want it to be a little bit more real, or make it a little bit, and you get announcer copy, you know, everybody has their own way of translating that. You're in the business. When you get it, what do you say to yourself? Oh, they mean this. What does it mean to you?
It usually involves me kind of backing off and not being so heavy with my voice, and probably not as enunciative, and probably something, I mean, depending on the copy, it might be a slight lilt or a turn where I can friendly it up, so to speak, or just find some place where I can make a connection there where it sounds like, you know, even for just a moment or two, like these are my words, and that this is what I'm, you know, calling on you to do,
there you go.
Think, buy, watch.
Yeah, I think that was key. These are my words.
Yeah.
That's very, very
yeah,
good.
you know, that it's weird because so much of it is so subjective, and it means different things to different people.
Sure.
But you know it when you hear it.
Exactly.
And that...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
do you feel it when you do it? Because you know there's times when you do a take and you're like, oh, like I really felt it. Do you recognize it in yourself? Can
sometimes
you
you do, and sometimes I don't. And I think, that wasn't quite it. And if I'm in a situation where I'm getting, you know, instant feedback from a producer or something, and they'll say, "Yep, we got it," which means they got it and I didn't realize it, or it's time for lunch. But no,
that's as good as
the fact that they keep calling back.
Can Stu get that apple now? Yeah.
So you mentioned Joe Cipriano, but who have been mentors for you in the business, or who are?
Wow.
your
Well,
heroes?
the first guy, you know, is Don LaFontaine. Don, years before I even knew him, before I even knew what voiceover was training me. He was training all of us. Like, this is what a rad movie voiceover sounds like. You know, I mean, you can't even begin to remember all the movie trailers that we saw in the 80s that had Don's stamp on them. Like, wow, I have got to see that.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
So, and then once I got into that world and kind of got to meet Don and know him a little bit, wow, what a great guy. I have to say,
were you fortunate enough to actually spend time with him?
It's one of my biggest regrets. Don extended his invitation to me personally several times to join him in the old days in the limo with Clinton. And then when that ended and he was at home, he said, "Come on over. You know, we was like, we'll work together. I know you're busy all day, but you know, like we can do my stuff and you can do your stuff. We'll make it work." And I always intended to, and I didn't think there was any reason why I needed to rush. And then he left, and I've just been kicking myself ever since.
Oh man, I know.
So I'm involved with the lab. That's part of the reason.
Yeah.
You're on the advisory board.
Yeah, to honor Don's legacy, and you know, to have this crazy, incredible resource where we can give back to the next guys that are coming up, and it's a real. I feel like it's just a beautiful tribute to Don, and I'm very proud. I feel like it's a feather in my cap to have something to do with it as well. So
totally.
I'm really happy. About that.
I mean, I asked them how I can get involved, and they said you can't. It's too late for you, Chuck.
Wow. Who told you
that?
They
didn't. They go, I'd have to write
Was
like
that
a
me?
$50,000
Way to kill the moment, Chuck.
Well, yeah. So there's Don. I look up to Bo Weaver. Bo's hilarious.
We love Bo. He's so
super
cool.
dry sense of humor, but very, I mean, like, I'm afraid of him because he's so smart. He's wise, you know.
Yeah.
And Bo beta tests every piece of gear that comes out. It seems like.
Yeah.
And the other thing, and you can't mention Bo without mentioning Twisted Wave.
Nope.
I'm still on Pro Tools, and I feel like a fool around Bo anytime that it comes around.
Yeah,
to
and he just, he's a wizard on that.
Well, I finally got to use it up at the lab. I had an emergency, and I needed to duck in a place.
It's really easy.
And I'm like, wow, this is really intuitive. Bo was right.
Yeah, exactly.
So his website, you know, and he does everything just right.
He does.
He's got. He's very articulate, like I said, and the advice a lot of people, you know, come to me like they do a lot of guys and say, how can I break in? And I refer all of them to Bo's website, VO, frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
That's you know, that's the
he
great
gives back
place
in
to
such
start.
a big way.
Yeah, he does, man.
And the way he markets himself. Joe Cipriano, we talked about Joe.
But let's talk about him some more.
Yeah.
I mean, how
he's got
cool
great
is Joe?
hair. He's got this way. He's got a look where he can raise one eyebrow and do
isn't
that.
He's like,
and now he's a
man.
movie
He's a
star.
very handsome
You can't talk about Joe without talking about Anne.
No,
She's
oh my
absolutely
God,
wonderful.
she's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And Joe's a movie star now. You know, he's in that movie In a World.
That's right. I keep waiting to see the trailer. I've clicked a million things. I can find out. Well, I want to see a trailer.
You may not be able to get to him now. His people, you know.
Exactly.
Really keeping
He's getting hard now.
I'll tell you what, I didn't get the call on that one.
Whoops.
Is there anybody else?
Golly, yeah. There's everybody else.
There's
I'm in
everybody
awe
else.
of everybody that does this for a living, and when I see their work or hear their reels and stuff, I just think, oh man, they're gonna find out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be discovered.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like, hey, Hollywood's calling. I mean they're gonna find out what a big phony I am.
Oh, no.
You know, I know that's not really the truth, but you know, it's not uncommon to
Feel
feel
like an
that way.
imposter.
You know, Stu is very, very modest, and seriously.
Well, but here's the thing. I mean, if you've got guys ahead of you, I think it's always great when you have people ahead of you that you can emulate.
Yeah.
And you can't compete. If someone's been in the business 20, 30 years, I mean, you know, your 15 plus years is nothing to sneeze at, but, you know, it's great to have people ahead of you that you can aspire to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no doubt about it. And when those people are as cool and giving and sharing and inclusive as these guys are, it's such a great career, great industry, a great community to be involved with. I really mean it sincerely when I say how flattered I am how unbelieving I am that I'm in this club.
It's like when a senior asks you to the prom, and you're a freshman, and you're just a little freshman.
Exactly.
Is that what happened?
You're hardly a little freshman.
So and let's not forget that you're a musician, right?
I play some.
You play some?
Yeah.
Play guitar?
I play guitar.
Anything
I do a little
else?
singing.
He does a little singing.
Sing. I play guitar. I got a mandolin.
Let me ask you that. So do you think that having that helps at all with like timing or rhythm or when you're reading?
Yeah, it sure doesn't help.
Yeah?
I mean, there have been...
Did you say it sure doesn't help?
It sure does not... Oh, I'm sorry. It sure doesn't hurt.
Oh, okay.
It sure doesn't help.
Sure doesn't help. I'm like, okay.
He's like, yes, I did say that.
There are a lot of times where you know, where you're not, where your voiceover is not the first thing once you get into black. Meaning, like, you know, I'm reading a promo, and the promo starts with like just some shots or something, and I don't come in for, you know, I don't know. So if I'm there reading the picture, that's one thing. But if I'm at home or wherever, then I've got to find something else. And a lot of times it's the music. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm on the 1 and the 2, and I'm on 4 and. Oh, okay, I'm on and. Or I'm when the tambourine comes in, or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
You know, so
when the tambourine comes in.
Bring my own.
Yeah, when do you come in? As soon as the tambourine comes in.
I'll say that. They'll be like, Stu, you know, we need you to a couple frames. You know, it's about when. No, I got it.
Just before the tambourine.
It's just before the tambourine hits. It's on the 5. Like, whatever.
It's
okay.
my process, man. It's my process.
Don't question it. Just roll it back. I'm there.
That's cool, man. So do you have any videos on YouTube of you rocking out that we can show people?
Where is this going?
I don't know. Do you?
There is a video of me in like 1987 at the Troubadour.
1987 at the Troubadour.
No, maybe it's like 90 or something. It was after that, because it was after I used to work at the Troubadour.
And it's on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. I was playing guitar as one song as a guest with a great friend of mine, Dean Ortega. He was with a band called Revolution Child, I think, at that time. Anyway, so yeah, I came up and played this song, and it's really, I mean, you know, it was shot on VHS
of course,
or something, so it's horrible, grainy, bad, but there I am, and like my hair is like down to my knees.
That's good.
And
He's
stuff.
a YouTube star right there.
Yeah, it's got like 100 hits.
Is there like a life lesson or a kind of a mantra that you have that helps you in your career?
Well,
something you live by.
Well, I try to remember that all of this is such, you know, I keep going to sound like it's such a sad, but it's really such a blessing. So don't take any of it for granted, because you know it could. You know, I don't know what the heck's going to happen tomorrow. Maybe I catch a horrible bug and I lose my voice, and that's that for VO. So, you know, really try to keep some time out for just standing still and appreciating what you have. Always put something back into the well. So, you know, all work, no play. Nobody wants to do that. So, like, you know, you've got to go out and, like, for crying out loud, go have a life. I mean, I used to go skydive and, you know, play music, do all these other things because I can't. I mean, here's something that is maybe not going to sound that great, but I don't have television service at home. I have Netflix, but I don't have TV at home. It forces me to, you know, play music or, you know, read a book or just do other stuff because I'm in front of screens all day long.
Yeah.
So when I get home, you know, I might put on a movie, but I got a lot more options, and I don't know how uncommon that is. I don't know that I should be.
That's pretty good.
Grey DeLisle doesn't have.
If it works for you, man,
really?
I mean, that's,
Well, maybe, but, you know, on the other hand, when people say, well, you know, you've also got to stay current in what the trends are and who the players are, what the sound of, you know, so and so.
But you have enough technology you can get to.
I can get to that stuff. You know, the internet makes everything, you know, available at your fingertips, so I can do that. But yes, I feel kind of sheepish, like it's a dirty little secret that I don't have.
If you
TV
didn't have internet,
right.
Then we'd have a problem. Then we'd have to have a conversation, Stu.
I have the interweb.
We'd have to do an intervention.
I would take away your S2 logo. I'd take it away from you.
No.
You're not deserving of that.
You're actually here for an intervention.
Yeah.
Really?
We're going to get you on the web.
Let's talk about your awesome home studio.
The coolest part about the studio is that I live in Playa del Rey, and it's right under LAX takeoff pattern.
Yeah.
I mean, not right under it, but it's pretty close. I mean, you hear all the planes. So our challenge was building a quiet room. So we built a room
plane-proof.
Yeah, plane-proof, totally. So, you know, it's got rubber couplings under all the floor. I mean, it's been so long since we built it. I think I put it together in 2001 or 2.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's a room within a room done properly with Z channel and a million different layers and stuff. And by gosh, when you close that door, I don't care. You don't hear anything. So
beautiful.
So there was that. Steve Klein Sound Design is who consulted me on that.
Beautiful.
He's gone now. Anyway, so there's that, and I should also mention that I wanted to vent the room, and I was told that that would compromise it. It would be prohibitively expensive to do it. So the room is not vented. It's a 5x8 booth, and as long as I'm just reading,
it's pretty big.
normal,
5x8.
Yeah, 5x8 is not bad. As long as I'm reading, regular old copy, everything's chill. But if I've got to do like many sessions of hyper energetic stuff, dude, I might as well like go be in a Bikram yoga class.
Forget about a book.
Instead of hot yoga, it's hot promo.
Hot
and you're
promo,
like...
dude. I walk out of there completely drenched.
Wow.
And it hasn't happened lately, but it used to happen regularly.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the hot summer months.
Of course, man.
So anyway.
What about in your chain? What's in your chain?
In my chain, let's see. An Avalon 737 is my... Well, I should start at the mic, right?
Start at the mic.
So I got a collection of mics.
Do you have
most of the time it's the 416 or the U87, but most of the time it's the 416. And let's see, that's there's a snake, there's a panel, because I thought I was going to do a lot of music in there. I'm going to need 16 of these. I'm like, really? So I paid for a 16 input panel, and I set up a drum kit in there once. And Yeah,
So how many
not
inputs
so
do
great.
you actually use?
One.
Yeah.
One. But I've got 15 more.
That's
if you
right.
need 'em.
In case they go down,
never
you've got
know.
You
extras.
never know.
Got backup.
You never know.
It could happen.
So there's that. So what does that go? So everything's tied to a patch bay. There's the 737 Avalon. My board is a Mackie mixer. I've got a Blackface Zephyr. I'm just kind of.
That's your ISDN box.
That's my ISDN box. And gosh, it's pretty clean. I mean, really.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's like
That's-
pretty much top of line stuff. And then what do you record onto? Are you a Pro Tools
It's Pro
guy?
Tools.
Or?
It's
Cool.
Pro Tools in there.
All right.
Recently, like I mentioned, I got a little taste of Twisted Wave.
Twisted Wave.
And I'm thinking I really should just get Twisted Wave.
Yeah.
It's just so
simple.
easy for VO applications, and I'm so used to doing things with Pro Tools, and I don't flinch at to me. Bo's analogy is like
Yeah.
digging a fence post with a caterpillar, with a crane or something. When all I need is this little spade. I don't think of it that way, but maybe I will start to see it that way. But I'm running a pretty recent version of Pro Tools, and it fires up quick. The Mac fires up quick.
If you know
What
how to
you're used
use
to,
it, man, and then it's like
Yeah.
Twisted Wave is
but-
great for portable gear. I mean, if you're on.
Yeah, right.
That's
It's
true on your
really
iPad.
good.
Oh yeah,
Much
or-
more streamlined.
that's
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Absolutely.
It's going that way.
Do you
yeah.
do any of that? Do you do any mobile kind of
Oh yeah.
stuff like that?
Yeah, I take a 416 with me. I love traveling with voiceover gear. It's always fun at the airport.
Yes.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's like
You always have to do the
what is
spread
that
eagle.
wall?
Oh yeah, dude. Well, we're
And I'm
gonna take
sorry,
a look
I
at
am
this bag.
so
What is
short.
what is this thing? What is that?
I'm so short and the feet are so far apart, so I look like I'm
Like you're
standing.
flying.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then everyone's always laughing at me.
Yeah.
Well, I get.
So yeah. So anyway, I bring a 416 with me. There, I used to travel with an M Audio USB pre.
Right.
And now I got this little. I mean, little. The
like
thing is like
400,
about
like
that
Shure
big.
It's
400
just like the
something?
Centrance,
Centrance?
Fort Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's a full on.
little
Yeah.
plug-in.
Yeah.
So this sounds great.
You grab it, you put it in there.
Yeah. Bring with that a little laptop, and I'm
And you're ready to go.
I have been using Audio TX for the past many years. So,
Okay.
And I'm shocked that I haven't lost that dongle yet. Shocked.
Right.
I don't know. That's fear in action right there. That's what motivates me. Because that if I have to replace that dongle, it's like $800
Oh
or
my
something.
gosh.
Put it on a
yeah, I
lanyard
know.
or something.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Yeah, you
that's
definitely don't want to lose that little sucker.
Yeah, so I've done gigs in a car, on in beds, in little closets and stuff. Every year, the past 2 years, I've done this bicycle trip from San Francisco back down to LA, and most of the folks that do this, it's for Arthritis Foundation. Most of the folks that do this camp out. Well, that's not an option for me because work doesn't stop. So it's pedal 70 miles to the next stop, check into a hotel. Kelly sets up all my stuff for me, and within a couple hours I'm working. And so every place, it's a new adventure. Is this is it
figure
going to
out,
work
yeah.
here? Is it going to work there? What's this room sound like? How can I deaden this?
Yeah.
Oh, they want to go now. They want to go later. How do I get dinner?
How do I get dinner?
You're like a ninja. You're like
VO
a-
on the road is
it is.
always a
It's so
wild
fun,
and
the
crazy
stories,
adventure.
yeah.
And I take heart
You should film it because I think there should be a
You
documentary.
should, man. That would be funny.
Yeah,
There
because
should
I don't
be
have
a-
enough to do.
No, but there should be a documentary that's just solely about guys, promo trailer guys traveling and how they rig it up. I think
Yeah.
that'd
You know
be
what? Actually, yeah.
fascinating.
If it was kind of a little bit of this guy and a little bit of that guy, that's something.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the pictures of of Joe under a bed. I know that Tony Rogers.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still has it, but at one point he had a satellite truck. He could just drive. He could be anywhere, like in the northern hemisphere or the
Yeah.
western hemisphere, and get his job done.
Wow.
That was pretty
commitment, man.
impressive.
Yeah. Bo's got a pretty sophisticated little setup there in his van.
His van.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's
Bo
got
has
a
a
whole-
van, like the Mystery Machine.
Like
The
a
whole van is a
conversion
booth.
van. Yeah,
Really?
Yes,
awesome.
it's insane.
Fabulous.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Why
it's
is that
pretty
not
cool.
surprising?
Well, because he's
He's Superman.
Yeah, he's Superman.
Yeah, he
He
is.
is.
He's Batman.
What else?
isn't
Do
he?
we have anything else for our little buddy?
Okay, Stu, here we go.
We're gonna put you on a spot, Stewie.
Because he's like, I am
On a
exhausted.
spot or on the spot?
A spot.
Oh, I
and
want to be
a
on
spot.
a spot.
Okay, pick a number between 5 and 128.
11.
11.
That was random.
Wow.
Okay. 11.
Sounded like I knew that.
Yeah, exactly.
The number.
11.
Okay. Why not? Okay. If you had to name the least erotic part of the human body, what would it be? Just seems to fit today's show.
Before, well, no.
Before or after a shower?
The least erotic part of the human body. I'm going to go with armpit.
Armpit.
That's a solid choice.
You know what? I'm going to agree with that.
I'm going to say armpit.
Yeah.
Particularly right now, these armpits.
I don't know. Probably all.
It was a toss-up between armpit and, like, navel if you've got a lot, business going on in there. Yeah. But some folks just don't care. They'll just dive right in.
Oh boy, the show's
love
been a
you.
little crazy today, huh?
This is a
Love you,
family
Stew
show, huh?
Herrera.
Well, you know what? There are
Up
kids
until-
out there enjoying us. Yeah.
Up until the month of March it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do you think there's been anything that has really been a key to you becoming successful in the business?
The key to my success. There's a lot of different
Keys.
keys to
yeah.
success, and
Set of keys.
He's got a whole ring load of keys.
Absolutely,
I've been
yeah,
with the same
there's no doubt.
agent since 1998,
And they're great.
They
They're
are
amazing.
fantastic. I can't say enough great things about Sutton Barthenari. But ultimately, it comes down to me and the work that I do, and I think it's hopefully I'm nice to be around, and I think I do a good. I know I do a good job. That's why people call me back.
Right.
I'm good at what I do, and I enjoy what I do. And if you don't enjoy what you do, I don't think you're going to wind up doing it very long.
Absolutely.
Man, I certainly don't want to be miserable.
Not only that, if you don't enjoy what you do, you're not going to be very good at it anyways.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just going to.
And people are going to hear it, and there's going to be disconnect, and you're basically out of business, and then that's it.
Yeah.
End of the show.
So if you don't like this, don't do it. Find,
Yeah. There you go. If you love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of people go through life and they never find what I don't know what that must be like, but that's another thing I'm just lucky at that I feel lucky for is that I found something that I'm really good at, and I feel like it's what I'm supposed to do. So
Yeah.
I'm a lucky guy.
And it is. And you are. And we are. And you are. Dude,
Woo.
thank you for being on the show, man.
Thank you again.
Thank
We
you
really,
so
really,
much,
really
Stu.
appreciate it.
Sure.
Wish you all the best.
You guys don't know this, but it was hailing out there, and there's
Yeah.
rain
Oh,
and
yeah.
all kinds of. And Stu's like, "I'm gonna be late." We're like, "Take your time, just drive slowly,
Here's
just get
something
here."
that I didn't
Safe.
that I didn't get to tell you. Then I
But wait, there's more.
Well, I'm really worried about this weather because I was looking forward to a kind of a warm, sunny weekend, maybe in the 60s or 70s, because I'm running this Tough Mudder thing tomorrow. And if you don't know what the Tough Mudder is...
I don't know what a Tough Mudder is.
When you join the Army, you do mud runs.
Oh.
And
Wow.
so the Tough Mudder is for civilians. We do it for fun.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I'll accept a challenge just because it seems like a good idea at the time. So months ago, when I was challenged to do this mud run, I thought, sure, man, it's not till February. I've got
Plenty of
I got
time.
plenty of time to train for that. So I've trained not a bit.
It's February,
It's
Stu.
tomorrow. It's 12 miles in the mud in Temecula, and
my
you jump
gosh.
into a thing filled with ice. You have to run through live electrical wires. You crawl underneath barbed wire.
I've
and you
seen
have
those
to
on
run.
videos and on shows.
And none of that stuff bugs me. What bugs me is that I have to run 12 miles. I don't run. I bike. I bicycle. That's no impact
You
if you
need
do
to
it
read
right.
the fine print, Stu.
No, it wasn't fine print. So I've been doing Bikram yoga for the past almost 60 days. And I'm thinking, well...
You won't pull a muscle because you'll be nice and stretched out.
hopefully it'll have some, payoff tomorrow. Because in a way I've been thinking about it, I'm like, this is kind of like... doing Bikram to prepare for a mud run is like swimming to prepare for an MMA match.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get crushed.
It's like, how does Stu prepare for big things like that? Yoga.
Yeah. So
Well, let's
Leo
hope
on
by
Monday.
the time this posts that you're still with us.
you're
Two
gonna
things are going to happen.
you're gonna
Okay.
hear promos for CBS going, on the next job. Jesus. Don't miss
Bring
it.
up the energy,
But
Stu,
two
a
things
little
are going to
more.
happen when you finish this. You're either never going to do anything like this again as long as you live, or you're going to be like, Bikram yoga is really good.
Oh, I know it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop the Bikram, but
We'll see about the mud runs.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, good luck.
Let us know how that turns out.
Oh yeah, we'll
All right?
document it all.
We'll need
and-
pictures of that for sure.
Thanks for being on the show, brother.
Thank you.
You're awesome, man.
Stu.
Whew! Now that was a VO Buzz Weekly, but man, that's a good time. I feel like maybe I need a cigarette. I don't really smoke, but anyway, VO Buzz Weekly. You'll recognize it because they've got the violent spinning block logo, and then the buzz, which seems like a friendly, it just flies in and boom, it explodes. It's like violent, but it's beautiful. It's creation. It's VO Buzz Weekly. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I got to say that Stew Herrera is probably one of the coolest guys that has ever sat on that chair. Would you agree?
Without a doubt. Yes.
Very cool dude.
Yes. Hey, you guys, we'll be back next week, but in the meantime, keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest at VO Buzz Weekly. Take care, and just remember, you always have time for a little buzz.